And good early morning to you, YouTube. How's it going? Dirk here, GC Blues 45. All right, we had 8 games on the dock tonight. And if you hadn't come across the series, happen like it, give me that thumbs up to us. Very important. Helps keep the channel going. And remember, if you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe icon. It'd be notified every time I upload a new video. Record going into tonight's games: 22, 12, and 2. That's pretty good. So basically, a total of 46 points so far. So let's get right into it. It's water. Gotta get a little water. Okay. Starting off with Nashville at Toronto entering the matchup. Nashville was 2-0-1 and 5 points. Toronto 1-2-0 and 2 points. And at the end of 60 minutes, the Toronto Blue Jays beat the Nashville Predators by a score of 7-4. That's right, 7-4. Shots on goal were the Leafs 28, the Preds 30. The Leafs had 26 saves with the Preds 21, and both teams were 0 for 2 on the power play. Um, this was total domination by the Leafs. They really did a very good job. They the Preds couldn't withstand them, so that's why they lost. But good going by Toronto, and I'm not mad. Next was Seattle at Montreal. Entering the matchup, Seattle was 2-0-0 and 4 points. Montreal 2-1-0 and 4 points. And this had to go into extra period. And the results were Montreal wins by a score of 5-4. Shots on goal, both teams had 22. The crack the Canadians had 18 saves with the Kraken 17. Montreal was 0 for 2 on the power play with Seattle 1 for 4 on the power play. Despite picking up a point, Seattle did try. Montreal ties it, gets back into it, and they really. I don't know how it is, but it could go on either way. Seattle thought they had it, and they didn't. So yeah, and then of course in the overtime, Cole Caulfield gets that goal, and he he scores twice in the game. So nothing more I could say about that. Next was so I'm 0-1 and 0. So how do I do in the rest? Well, let's find out. Next was Edmonton and the Rangers. Entering this matchup, Edmonton was 1-0-1 and 3 points. New York 2-2-0 and 4 points. And at the end of 60 minutes, the Edmonton Oilers beat the New York Rangers by a score of 2-0, and it's a Pepsi Zero Sugar shutout. Shots on goal were the Rangers 30, the Oilers 22. The rain, sorry, so the Oilers had 22 saves with the Rangers 30. The Oilers had 30 saves with the Rangers 20. Edmonton didn't have no power play, and the New York Rangers were over 3 on the power play. by the way, the Rangers made history by being the first team in their first 3 games at home being shut out. They had not scored a goal in their first 3 games at Madison Square Garden this year. Total domination by the um, Oilers. They really dominated this game. New York couldn't really withstand it. After a first period of no score, they Rangers just did. I mean, the Rangers couldn't really get the momentum going, but they tried their best. But you know, not much you could do. Next was Tampa Bay at Washington. After this matchup, Tampa Bay was 1-2-0 and 2 points. Washington 2-1-0 and 4 points. And at the end of 60 minutes, the Washington this had to this had to go into overtime. That's right, it had to go to overtime, and Washington wins in overtime by a score of 5-4. Oh, sorry, 3-2. Sorry, 3-2. 3-2. Shots on goal were the Caps 28, the Bolts 19. The Capitals had 17 saves with the Lightning 25. Washington went 1 for 3 on the power play with Tampa 1 for 2 on the power play. Well, despite picking up a point, Tampa did okay. But it was all in the going into the third period. They were tied, and somehow they tied it, and then something happened in overtime. Basically, Washington wanted to win more. That's why they got it, and you really can't help it. So there you go. So I know 2-1-1. Can I improve the record? Let's find out. Next was the Vegas Golden Knights at the Calgary Flames. Entering this matchup, Vegas was 1-0-2 and 4 points. Calgary 1-2-0 and 2 points. And at the end of 60 minutes, the Vegas Golden Knights beat the Calgary Flames by a score of 4-2. Shots on goal were the Knights 30, the Flames 29. The Knights had 27 saves with the Flames 26. Vegas went 1 for 2, 0 for 2 on the power play with Calgary 0 for 1 on the power play. After Calgary started off pretty strong, basically scoring 2 goals, Vegas did something, and after 2, they were down by 1, and they win by 2. So, way to go. I'll be right back, Carnival. All right, I'm back. And basically, going into the third period, Vegas did something, and they decided, okay, we're not playing around. We're going to score good, and that's what happened. And basically, Calgary couldn't overtake it, so that's why they won. So way to go by Vegas. Now I'm 3-2-1. I mean 3-1-1. Did I improve? Well, let's find out. Next game is the Dallas Stars at home against the Minnesota Wild. Entering this matchup, the Wild were 2-1-0 and 4 points. Dallas 2-0-0 and 4 points, so they were even in the points, but only one team could win. And at the end of 60 minutes, the Dallas Stars beat the Minnesota Wild by a score of 5-2. Shots on goal were the Stars 25, the Wild 41. The Stars had 39 saves with the Wild 20. Dallas was 2 for 2 on the power play with Minnesota 2 for 4 on the power play. Well, despite having a 3-0 lead going into the second period, both teams, the Wild scored 2 in the third, and I don't know what it is, um, but Dallas scores 2 of their own. Especially, they pulled the goalie after, they got 2 power play goals, but they pulled the goalie, and that's how the Stars got 2 of their own. So, way to go by Dallas, proving to 6 points. Next was the Carolina Hurricanes at the San Jose Sharks. Entering this matchup, Carolina was 2-0-0 and 2-0-0 and 4 points. San Jose was 0-0-2 and 2 points. At the end of 60 minutes, the Carolina Hurricanes beat the San Jose Sharks by a score of 5-1. Shots on goal were the Canes 43, the Sharks 17. The Hurricanes had 16 saves with the Sharks 38. Carolina was 0 for 3 on the power play with San Jose 0 for 5 on the power play. Well, after no score in the first period, San Jose just couldn't overcome the how big Carolina was. Carolina scores 3, San Jose scores 1, and then Carolina just took it from there, scoring 2 on the Sharks, and they couldn't do. And this is also Carolina's first regulation loss of the year. But let's hope things can improve for them. They're on a 3-game losing streak, but things can improve. And finally, tonight's upset special: the Kraken at the Ducks. I mean, the Pens at the Ducks. Why did I say Kraken at the Ducks? It's the Pens at the Ducks. Going into the matchup, Pittsburgh was 2-1-0 and 4 points. Anaheim was 1-1-0 and 2 points. And at the end of 16 minutes, the Anaheim Ducks beat the Pittsburgh Penguins by a score of 4-3. So no upset, kind of bad. Shots on goal were the Ducks 22, the Pens 25. The Ducks had 22 saves with the Pens 18. Anaheim went 2 for 6 on the power play with Pittsburgh 0 for 1 on the power play. Well, after being tied after 2 periods, 3-3, the Ducks pulled it out. It was a good game all around. It was pretty evenly matched. You can even say that about the Vegas and Calgary game and the Washington and Tampa game, evenly matched. Same thing with Seattle and Montreal; they were evenly matched. And this game was evenly matched all the way through going into the last period, and then, as you know, um, in 1925, basically with just 35 seconds left to play in the game, the Ducks win in good fashion. So sorry, not 35 seconds. That was 35 seconds. Basically at 1833, the Ducks got that power play goal. That's how they won it. They won it fair and square. But once again, evenly matched game all the way through. Got to give it up to the Pens. They tried. So that's it, folks. We got 4 games tomorrow, later today. Well, yeah, later today. But tomorrow we got 4 games on the dock. Never know, and let's hope things go good. As always, folks, please stay safe, take care, everyone those watching, and we'll see you guys soon. Until then. Oh, you guys want to know how I did? I finished with a record of 5, 2, and 1 to put me at 27, 14, and 3 for the year. All right, folks, that's it. I'll see you guys soon. Until then, peace.